All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever it is in the world you are streaming here on Twitter, on Twitch, as well as YouTube. Now, I think I finally got that figured out. Monday edition of Q&A with Wild. What's happening out there in the world? It's going to be a quiet night. No games. We start to get our lives back, and we have reached the best part of the calendar where we get some days off. There's no basketball on every single night. It doesn't run until super late at night. And I am very thankful for that as I can start to reclaim a somewhat normal lifestyle. As you can tell, my voice sounds healthier, getting more sleep, get to go out and enjoy the fruits of labor a little bit more. What's happening? Allow people a couple opportunities, a couple of minutes of opportunity to hop into the chat, hit that say something button at the bottom of the screen if you'd like to participate in today's show. I'll be scrolling through the comments here momentarily. What's up? What's up? Let's see what we got here. First, Eric Sims is asking thoughts on Fever BTA. I don't know what Fever BTA is. Is that the WNBA team? You're going to have to specify. Talking to a boomer. Why hasn't the MVP been announced? It's going to be likely because it's TNT. TNT has the announcement. So I think they're probably waiting for the conference finals to be able to do it on the pregame show. So I imagine it's probably going to be games 1 or 2. It'll happen this week. But yeah, it is occurring a little bit later than usual. The past 2 have been announced towards the beginning of May. This one is coming towards the end of the month. I don't know. It comes down to just TNT's decision, I think. But the NBA certainly could have pushed for it. I think it would have been the best time to drop it right before the conference semifinal started against Denver so that you could create the storylines of Shea got it and it's Jokic's chance to rebuttal and revenge for not getting it when some believed he may have deserved it. You know, whatever. What are these aspects? I'm told Ant versus SGA is some like budding rivalry. What has it been more than just what's on the court? I mean, it's 2 young stars that are MVP candidates, going to be future faces of the league. Am I missing something? It's just good hoops. I don't think there's a WWE storyline to this one like there is with Pacers Knicks. Sorry to disappoint you. Tips praise, you have to design the defense all year in the playoffs. That's a lot of words here. Minus historically defend starters. He also had to deal with the weakest depth. The narrative changes with Tibbs every single game. If the Knicks lose, it's because Tibbs runs their guys into the ground. If the Knicks win, it's because Tom Thibodeau has his guys conditioned and trained for these intense playoff minutes and quantity of minutes that other teams don't. So it's just what time of day is it? Is it a day ending in Y? Because you're going to get one of 2 narratives with him, and it's been that way ever since. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I never thought the minutes difference was that drastic. I mean, we're talking about minutes in the 40s for the Knicks all regular season when some of these other teams are playing their guys in the high 30s. That's a 4 to 5 minute difference. Whatever. I think the Knicks' depth is more of a concern than their conditioning. They're going up against a Pacers team that can run 9-10 guys as a part of the rotation. But if you're listening to the show today, we spent a good hour on trying to figure out the priorities of questions that should be asked regarding this series. And for me, number 1 by far is how the officials will enforce the rule book on Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard, who could pick up Donovan Mitchell 94 feet because Donovan Mitchell, for as great as he is not someone who's seeking out whistles and contact the same way that Jalen Brunson does. So with the first 2 games at home, game 7 at home, you know the Garden crowd's going to be on those officials. If there's a 50-50 call there, how many times can Jalen Brunson put the pressure on the referees to blow that whistle and give those guys a foul in the front court? Because Nesmith and Nembhard want to pick you up full court, tire you out. So in the final 2 minutes, you lose your legs. And we saw that with Donovan Mitchell at the end of game 2. We saw that honestly with every single Pacers team that they're able to sink their claws into. They unrelenting, never-ending rim running and downhill pressure is the guarantee in this series. But if they don't have Nemhard and Neesmith because they're in foul trouble the whole time, that will change the dynamic of the way that the Pacers want to turn up the pace. The Knicks probably prefer to play a little bit more in the half court, keep the game close, let Jalen Brunson go win it because they feel like they have the best clutch player on the floor. And we'll see. We'll see. I think the home court advantage is a major deal for potential officiating styles. That extra game at Madison Square Garden may pay dividends when Jalen Brunson is doing his whole like head back, shrug, fall into the floor, the flailing and the embellishment. I think you get that call a lot more at home than you do on the road. Let's see what else we got here. God, all these just basic ass questions. Who do I have winning it all? I had the Celtics winning it all. I missed. I can't. I'll talk to you in the finals. Pacers, Knicks, who's the X factor? It's Mitchell Robinson as always. I mean, you guys, I just saw this stat running around that Mitchell Robinson grabbed 34% of available offensive rebounds last series. All offensive rebounds. So if the Knicks missed a shot when Mitchell Robinson was on the floor, there was a 34% chance that the Knicks were going to get a second chance opportunity, which is just insanity. And we know how good the Knicks are at making defenses pay when they go into scramble mode because of Brunson and the corner three guys. But Mitchell Robinson requires all season long. I spend a daily radio show spending the time like, yeah, the Knicks are getting waxed by these elite teams, but there's one glimmer of light at the end of the Lincoln Tunnel. And it's that Mitchell Robinson is due back in March. And most people are like, who the hell is Mitchell Robinson? He's not, you make him out to be this Steph Curry type figure. And I'm like, man, you want to bring up Steph Curry? I think he creates the same type of gravity as Steph Curry within the restricted area, that small little semicircle next to the rim, not outside of it. But there are very few humans on this planet. I can only name two, Giannis and Victor Wembanyama, and guys that create that gravity on the offensive glass that requires so many bodies to mark them and remove them from the equation of that offensive rebound. But also on defense, Mitchell Robinson has the ability to be standing on the block, protect the rim, and also close out the corner three-point shooter. Only 3 people can do that. Do you know how far it is from the block to the corner three? It's far. But when you have a 9'4" standing reach, you have that height, that versatility, and that foot speed. We have seen Mitchell Robinson block how many damn corner threes into the stands? The Pacers do not have the luxury of a dual center lineup the way that Boston or some of these other teams remaining in the playoffs do. Honestly, every other team. So you're going to see a lot of Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam. The strategy there is to take Siakam and to guard Karl-Anthony Towns outside the three-point line with him, the same way that Tobias Harris did in Detroit, the way that Jaylen Brown did and Drew Holiday did in the Boston Celtics series. But Cat has been recognizing that and then dragging those smaller defenders down into the deep end of the pool where he puts his hand up into the sky and says, give me the basketball. I'm going to cook this little pigeon behind me. And he does just that. It's mouse in the house. So then you have to take Miles Turner, where he's in his comfort zone as an anchor in the paint, have him assigned to Karl-Anthony Towns, and now you got Mitchell Robinson lurking. You got him hitting the glass, and good luck with that. So Siakam's going to have to do a lot of guarding of Cat, and while he certainly has the versatility, he's got the size to be able to hold his own, I think that'll be a tough challenge for them. The Pacers are going to butter their bread in the front court with their point of attack defenders, Neesmith, McConnell, Nemhard, even Halliburton, kind of. Like, they got plenty of those bodies, man. All right. What else you guys got? How do you become a Suns executive? Go get experience in a video coordinator's room and work your way up. What's my plan if the Knicks win it all? Sending New York into mayhem. My plan, first of all, is I have to make sure I'm not banned at the Garden Because if the Knicks have 3 wins in the finals, then I will attend every single game until they win. But that'll require me to actually get into the arena. I don't know if I'm still banned from the free Oakley days or doing that show with Pablo about the LeBron James video. There's many reasons why I could be banned, and people have been banned for less. So I got to figure that out first. We keep getting 5, 6, 7, 8 seeds in the conference finals. You think this trend persists? Well, you know what? 7 straight NBA NBA seasons where the champion is going to be different. That's the first time it's happened in league history. You guys complained enough, not just you guys, but NBA fans complained enough that the NBA decided that parity should be the business model in the future. The result of which is no more dynasties, because it's almost impossible to keep these teams together for more than 3 years due to the collective bargaining agreement penalties. You have about 3 seasons. You can keep it together for 1 in the second apron, then you got to disband before that the draft penalty comes in, the luxury tax bill, like Boston and Denver, Cleveland. What on earth can they possibly do to improve their team? At the very best, it feels like that they can do a very minor stripping down of parts and keep their main rotations together while trying to get some salary cap relief. Officially, Kev says, I see we had no problem scoring on these guys in the 3 games we played, averaging 120 per. I think that defense is probably the more important thing. Yeah. Are you talking about Pacers Knicks? The points per game don't matter because the game is being played completely different than the playoffs. Sorry, my silence is me trying to process that. The pace will remain the same with Indiana, but the offensive rating is going to be influenced. So you can still score 120 points, but I think your offensive rating will be worse considering the defensive intensity. But yeah, Indiana wants to turn everything into a track meet, man. They want a war of attrition. They want the series to go 6 or 7 games. That's when they can start to utilize some of the advantages they have with their depth. And they don't play their guys more than 35 minutes per their starters. Yeah, the Pacers really could have used Isaiah Jackson. Like Thomas Bryant, I don't think is going to be playable. So Thomas Bryant gets like 3 minutes at the beginning of the second quarter, but Isaiah Jackson would have been a perfect complement to someone that can rotate with Miles Turner and deal with the Mitchell Robinson, Karl-Anthony Towns dual center lineups, those that have been running, I don't know, between 15 and 20 minutes concurrently per game. Like Mitchell Robinson is just such an athletic force that you're going to need so many bodies to check him. So many bodies. Even if you have a Wembanyama or a Giannis, Mitchell Robinson is just such a beast on the glass, man. He requires so much attention, which means someone's going to be open if you have to send 2 bodies over to make sure that Mitch can't get the rebound. Look at some of these box scores he's been having, man. 8 rebounds and like 6 of them are offensive. And the Knicks end up shooting 10, 15 more shots than their opponents because of all those second chances. Who did the Thunder put on Julius? Good question. I'm probably going with Hartenstein. And if Randall wants to step back and beat me from beyond the 3-point line, I'm kind of okay with that. And Hartenstein kind of like will do some backpedaling, doesn't want to go out there to the perimeter. And then I'll let Chet deal with Rudy Gobert because Rudy's not threatening you, and Chet can lurk as a free safety around the rim. You're going to need a lot of size. Like we saw Hartenstein get replaced by Alex Caruso yesterday, coming out of the second half locker room because of Caruso. But that's what I'm going to pick. I picked OKC. I picked OKC in 6 and the Knicks in 6 officially. And my reason for OKC was just all of those point of attack defenders that Ant's going to see throughout the series. This is so, I mean, against Golden State without Steph, kind of an outlier. The Lakers with Gabe Vincent, Dorian Finney-Smith, and the Jared Vanderbilts. Like, this is just such a difference with Caruso, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, J-Dub, Shea. They can throw so many different guys at him. And the one area that you're concerned about with, if you're an Anthony Edwards or Minnesota Timberwolves fan, is Ant hasn't been his Superman self since or during any times that a double team is thrown his way, or he's asked to be the floor general and the spearhead of the offense in creating for others. He has shown some susceptibility to turning the ball over and making errors. The one thing you cannot do against OKC, turn the ball over. Did you see the points conceded off of turnovers yesterday? It was 37-7, 23 turnovers by Denver. You cannot, it's an automatic 2 points, 2 points guaranteed against OKC. Every time, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. And if Ant-Man's struggling to create because he's having to dribble the ball up the floor himself, I weirdly think that we're going to see, you would figure Mike Conley Jr. handles a lot of those floor general response, but I think we're going to see a lot of Julius Randle handling the basketball, at least bringing it up the floor, not calling and running plays, but someone's got to dribble the ball up and then dribble handoff to Anthony Edwards. I don't think they want Ant-Man going up against Cason Wallace and Lou Dort for 90 feet up the floor. Those are jabs that add up over time, and he'll get exhausted. How is, Garfield asked, how is the radio business, and will you ever make the return to YouTube? Not for basketball. No. I'm kind of in the twilight of my basketball content creation career. And the radio business is, as long as SiriusXM is up and available, it's easy. But that's why we do. We're on YouTube right now. We're on. What do you mean? I'm on Prophet X's YouTube channel right now. Have I ever thought about doing a Twitch during a Knicks game, or are you pretty chilled during the games? First of all, I'm taking notes because I'm getting ready for the post-game show. So the last thing I want to do is like you just watching me type away, and I'm trying to like stare at the screen and talk about some coverages or specific timestamps that matter to create talking points and narratives after. So I'm not like, if I wasn't doing a post-game show, I'd be more open to it, but I'm taking copious notes unless it's the weekend and I don't have to do the post-game show. But yeah, also, yeah, Twitch, I guess. I know there's that other platform that everyone's been doing NBA games on, playback or watchback, playback, watchback. I'm not doing that unless I get paid. So that's the honest answer. So if they want to come with the checkbook, I'm happy to have that conversation, but I'm not creating content for free. I'm sorry. Not anymore. I don't need to. You got to incentivize me more for the love of the game. And also a quick programming note for those of you. Unfortunately, because I just realized this problem because the Knicks haven't been to the conference finals in 25 years. Knicks post-game thoughts are going to be severely delayed starting now, unless the Knicks play a game on Friday or Saturday, or the 2 days that I don't have post-game show responsibilities on Sirius. I can film those on time, but I'm going to have to be doing a 2-hour radio show before I can even start doing the post-game thoughts. So you can get the post-game thoughts on Sirius, but the video that goes up on Twitter will not be until well after the game is over, and honestly, until most of the East Coast is asleep. But yeah, radio business is doing great. I love the radio because it's so accessible for people to join us. We have so many big guests. I mean, there was one week, just I think last week, the week before, it was like Mike Breen, Kevin Harlan, John Starks, Roy Williams. I mean, these guests that we have on the show every day, just kind of get used to it after a while, but then just take a step back and realize, like, holy shit, these are some major names in the game. We just had Coach Larry Brown. We have Tony Allen on every Wednesday, Cedric Maxwell, finals MVPs, What do you? Oh, that closeout on Brown was just unbelievable. You're talking about Mitchell Robinson, where he went station to station, five different Boston Celtics players, checked them all off the box, and then he forced that turnover. That one got the crowd going, and the Knicks never looked back from there because the Madison Square Garden crowd, being that educated, realized that Mitch is struggling from the free throw line. They're looking for a legitimate reason to provide some support, and when he does something like that, Knicks fans like, that is why we love you. That's why you're the guy. You could just feel that sentiment. You know, how influential he is on defense. Don't you fucking forget it, bitch. Mitchell Robinson will not be getting gassed trying to run with the Pacers because Mitch only plays 20 to 25 minutes, and those are in two different spurts, so that doesn't apply. Did I see that there's a Car Chase channel on Pluto YouTube? Yeah, there's a couple of Car Chase channels now. They're all over YouTube. What else you guys got? What's up? Break the ruler. Scroll in the chat here to see. Well, I bought my tickets for Friday Summer League today. Pretty excited. Wait, it starts on Thursday this year. Thursday. You might miss the first Cooper Flag game. But yeah, Friday will be fun. I'll be there. I'll probably be there the first weekend and then go home after. I'm going to Japan the next week. Do I think a fully healthy Celtics team wins that series? And with that, I mean, Jalen, yeah, we're not doing this. Every team's banged up. We can't keep doing this whole, if they were healthy, they would have won. No one's ever healthy in the playoffs. Every team's dealing with something. That just speaks to the importance of your roster construction, having depth. What do you do if you're the Bucks with Giannis? You trade him. Giannis probably doesn't want to be traded. He's a loyal guy, but he will be traded. That team is, if they run it back with Giannis, every year that they go by, that they don't trade Giannis, that they could have, the pieces they can get back for him, they don't even have to rebuild. They wait till Lillard comes back from his injury next year in 2026. You can punt this season, get involved. I don't know what their draft pick status is. If they run it back with Giannis without Lillard, they're going to be a first-round exit. That's the worst place you can be. Worst place. They have no room for improvement. They won't be playing young guys, you name it. What else you guys got? Let's see. The don't trade Porzingis sign. Why I was banned? I don't think I was banned for that one. That wouldn't get me banned. I've done plenty. I've done free Oakley stuff. I've never called James Dolan like a bad name, though. I was never one of those fire Dolan people, because if you say fire Dolan, that's what does that accomplish? He's never going to sell the team. So you might as well try and work with him. What I really wanted this entire time was just 15 minutes to be able to have a conversation with him. But now that things are fixed and he's removed himself from a lot of these day-to-day operations, it's not so necessary anymore. And he's at the point where he's been out of the scene long enough that younger fans like love James Dolan now, because he's giving away these game balls in his car after the game, and kids are like, "Oh my God, the owner of the Knicks!" It's like, you have no idea. But yeah, I don't know James Dolan, and I'm nothing against him. It's not his fault that he was born into a Succession episode. So it's not someone that I would be hanging out with by choice on a day-to-day basis. But unfortunately, it's very kiss the ring culture over there. And at any point, if they felt like I was worthy of a ban, you just end up on that list, and that's it. If I'm banned, I am gone. This will be the last year. This will be an easy way for me to say goodbye. We'll find out, though. I'm obviously going to find out if I'm banned before I spend money on tickets. That's for sure. But even then, the way I'll find out is I'll apply for a credential through SiriusXM, and my name will pop up on the blacklist if I'm banned. So that's the best way to figure it out. I've always got ways. Always got ways. Hey, you know what we haven't done today? A little shout out to our friends at ProfitX, who are the sponsors of this stream. You guys curious what the series pricing is for? I am too. What do you think the series price is? Let's see. Game 1. OKC is going to be significant favorites at 7.5. The Knicks are 4.5-point favorites. So let's see. NBA specials. Knicks in 6 plus 5 4. Okay. You know what? I didn't I say Knicks in 6? Hold on a second. Didn't I say Knicks in 6? It's on the screen right here. Knicks in 6. I think I have to bet it. I got to bet it. Sorry. I can't say Knicks in 6 and just not bet $10 on it. Plus 540 payout. Okay. You got me. Sold. But the Knicks are slight favorites to win this series. Here we go. NBA series prices. Minus 290 plus 280 minus. Wow. That's pretty steep. Nearly 3-1 favorites, OKC. The Knicks are minus 146 plus 140. Wow. It was 125, 105 when I last looked. So the Knicks have been bet on pretty significantly here to steam that number up to 146. The Pacers are probably the best bet at that number, honestly. You know what the strategy is? Should I do Knicks in 6 at plus 540 payout and then bet the Pacers just to hedge it? And then you're just open to the Knicks winning and something other than, yeah, I get it. Maybe not the best strat. Shout out to Profit. Can you guys believe that Timberwolves price? You don't believe that number? OKC, you got to bet $30 to win 10 practically. That's a steep favorite. You guys believe that should be the number? I think OKC is going to win the series, but I'm sure as hell not laying 1-3. All right, chat. Sorry. Let's see what else you guys got. I got to do my part here to make sure our partners are happy. Have you guys went and signed up for ProfitX yet? If I went through each of you in the chat right now, 10,000 of you, how many of you are signed up for ProfitX? We just asked that you sign up using code WOB. You can use the peer-to-peer exchange at your convenience. But if you like these streams, you like doing Q&As, you want to keep them going into next year, you got to sign up. Today's kids don't know about JD and the Straight Shot. They don't know about anything. They don't know about the kazoo. They don't know about, like, all new fans in the past couple of years were not subject to the whole reason why Knicks fans were chanting "Fire Dolan" for years. It's just a generational thing, man. I figured that out, thankfully, at an early point in my life, and it provided perspective of which makes me very apathetic towards a lot of things. But I'll be rather upset if I'm banned. I don't think I've done anything worthy of getting banned. I've never been a Fire Dolan guy. I've never supported the Fire Dolan chants, but I'm also not gonna be one of his yes men. Like, the only way you get a job with MSG, I couldn't even get through the audition process for some of these because I think I'm on a shit list at MSG, but you have to really, really be a suck up to get a gig there. There have been some really good journalists and reporters that lost their jobs just because they aren't asking the fluff questions. Or you have to always be like gassing up the Knicks on other networks and saying that they're going to win the championship every year. And if you're not, they keep track of you. I'm like, I don't believe it. Then why am I saying like the Knicks are going to be this amazing team? But if you want that job, you have to be, everyone that works there for the most part has kissed the ring. I'm just not a ring kisser. I'm the king outside the wall. When Stannis says, if you bend the knee and pledge your fealty, you and your men will live. It's like, I'm sorry, but my back hurts and we don't kneel. Like, that is what it is. What's my updated bracket? My finals was Celtics versus Thunder. So Thunder going to the finals. And I'm out in the East. I was one of those chalk Cavs versus Celtics. It's really hard for me to believe that a team could beat them 4 out of 7 times. But the Pacers were the one matchup I was concerned about with the Cavs. And then with the Celtics, this coming with the Knicks completely blindsided me. And I watched every single dribble of every single Knicks game. I would have picked the Knicks if I was betting with my heart, but tried to give you an honest opinion. What do you guys think the best finals would be? Wolves, Knicks, I assume, and in the Garden. That'd be the most attractive one with like the highest rating, even though Pacers Thunder would be probably the fastest paced finals ever. I mean, we're talking about 112 possessions per team in those games. Those games would fly. I had some Game of Thrones clips pop up on YouTube last night, yesterday, and I had to watch a scene from that final season. Like, why the fuck do you send the Dothraki across a field of darkness in an open field against zombies? Like, who came up with this? No one would ever do that. You don't leave your stronghold, a fortress that has lasted generations and has been a strategical point that you are willing to do anything to acquire residents inside of it and fortify your army. You'll never lose. And yet you decide to leave against zombies of all fucking things. What? Those people that wrote that script. What on earth? What else? Thunder in the finals probably will be a third straight lopsided matchup. The Thunder would beat up the Knicks pretty good, I think. Unfortunately. The Thunder would be heavy favorites. Heavy favorites. They would be at least 1-3. And it would be 1-4 if so many people, if New York wasn't so popular. OKC, so fucking good. Oh my God. How did that series go 7 games? Because Chet Holmgren missed a couple free throws. Julian Strawther game. Like, it took a couple of outliers to get that to a game 7. Like, the emergence of Caruso was this defender, this all-position, all-world defender. And now they got the MVP in Shea, who finally found that groove. J-Dub got through the allegations quite well. And, like, they lose any of those dudes, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, it doesn't matter. They have so many of them. 3-and-D, they can bring in Aaron Wiggins. Isaiah Joe's not even getting PT right now. One of the best catch-and-shoot guys in the world. Man, they're tough. They can go dual center lineup. They can go small. They can go. Look at this, man. There's a reason why Minnesota's looked this good, and they're still plus 255 on the money line. 7.5-point dogs in game 1. That Oklahoma City defense takes defensive rebounds and turns them into live ball turnovers every time. Thunder versus Knicks would rule, would silence there's who comes up with these narratives that there's no defense played in the NBA anymore. It's people who are consuming their content through mainstream networks and services that are not watching the games, and they're getting their talking points based on the box scores in the bottom line. So when they see 130 to 126, they are playing defense, but the intensity obviously is different in the postseason, as is the way that the game is, the rules are enforced. You have referees who are micromanaging the rule book for 6 months, and then you have all these veteran crews that are much more laissez-faire. White Mama says, my wife has been going through her first ever watch of Game of Thrones and she's approaching the final season. I feel so bad. Great show, man. It would have been a Mount Rushmore show until till that final season, and now it's ruined. It went from an A show to can't go out like that. That is one of the worst seasons of television, not because of the bad graphics. It was just so outside of the everything was just contradictory. It was forced. It was rushed. It was terrible. People were defending it for a little while too. I'm like, you're telling on yourself. I can tell right away that you're hyperbolic. Benny says, hey, Wob, when, but more importantly, why did the NBA switch home jerseys being white and aways being the colored ones? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, they started doing that when the city editions and the association uniforms and the icon editions, that Nike has been making so many different variations. They required NBA teams to wear jerseys a minimum amount of times per season. Therefore, you start seeing those city editions, which aren't normally white. You see them at home. Therefore, the other team has to wear white based on the minimums required. But the good news is the NBA ordered back to traditional colors for the conference finals. You're going to get the Knicks wearing white, the Pacers in yellow, and then you're going to get the Knicks in their royal blues on the road the way it's meant to be, with the Pacers in yellow at home, even though they should go back to their 90s uniforms. Do I like Star Wars? Andor is so good. Yes, and I do love Andor. I haven't gotten to the second season yet because there's too much television on, but it's in my queue, and I will get to it. Did love the first season. And Rogue One. If you'll allow me the opportunity to rank my Star Wars movies, I don't have to go through them all, or programs. Empire Strikes Back, the original, New Hope, and then Rogue One comes in at number 3. I'm a Rogue One gets the bronze medal guy. And then Revenge of the Sith probably 4th. It could have been Revenge of the Sith probably could have been 1st or 2nd if they didn't mess up some of those plot lines. They did the Jedi so dirty when the Emperor just mowed them down. What else you guys got? That's what happens when you run out of source material. There's like I get questions about whistles, SGA versus Ant. I think the same applies for Brunson and in that series. I mean, there's 2 guys there that are putting the pressure on the referees to make a call. And while Ant is more of a ethical hooper, so was Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell did not take advantage of Aaron Nesmith and Andrew Nembhard's over aggressiveness. Therefore, you don't get as many calls. It's just the way it works. And I thought the Pacers really sunk their claws into that Cavaliers' lack of depth with Mobley and Garland hurt and DeAndre Hunter hurt. At game 2, Donovan Mitchell was done. He's cooked. And in game 5, they had Isaac Okoro bringing the ball up the floor because they didn't want to have Donovan Mitchell have to endure that American Gladiators obstacle course of Nesmith and Nembhard. And those guys are just plowing through ball screens because they're allowed to. Speaking of, it was tough seeing that. So you guys saw Draymond Green is going to be on inside the NBA telecast for the conference finals, and Michael Malone is joining the Disney side. I really was hoping they went with Jalen Rose. I thought Jalen did a great job filling in, and Draymond is exceptionally skilled at articulating his points eloquently, but he's done so much damage to his own personal brand with the moments that go viral with him saying shit about like Rudy Gobert, that even though he can speak the game at an incredibly high level, as well as anyone in the industry, he can give you the most perfect answer and people are still going to turn the channel because of how detrimental he is to himself. It's unfortunate because Draymond is incredibly smart. And I wish there were more people could separate him on the court versus off the court. But it's just not realistic. And I think the broadcast will suffer as a result, unfortunately. Do I have a Letterboxd account? Is that where you like rate movies and stuff? No. Up here. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll get bored on I have a couple long ass flights this summer. Maybe I'll just work on my Letterboxd. Just go through every movie I've ever seen and do ratings. I consider myself to have a PhD in movie and show assessment because I do watch a lot of content. But like legacy network stuff, not like YouTube and Twitch stuff. General Grievous needed substantially more screen time. This is a war crime. I don't know about that. He was a good character, though. Pretty decent graphics for when that movie came out, too. Anything else you guys are interested in? What else is going on in the anything else I should be caught up in? And any beefs, any media beefs? You guys are usually good for that. And I need to get myself up to speed on. Yeah. Championship or not for Indiana, what type of challenges could this roster face in the coming years? They have a lot more flexibility than, like, who's in trouble? Let's see. Boston's in trouble. Cleveland's in trouble. Denver's in trouble. Milwaukee's in trouble. Phoenix is in trouble. Memphis is in trouble. A lot of these teams are going to have to strip down for parts, get under the apron. You guys, like Denver, for example, you guys know Jamal Murray's contract extension's about to kick in. He's going from like 33 mil or something to 50 plus mil. Oh, have you looked at their cap table? Zeke Naji makes $8 million. Dario Saric has a $5.5 million player option. Of course, he's opting into that. Did you even know Saric was on the Denver Nuggets? And then Christian Brown is due his big extension in after next season. How the hell are they? They're not going to make room for all this. This is why Calvin Booth and Michael Malone were butting heads so much. Calvin Booth saw this coming and was like, hey, I need you to go play Julian Strawther more, bro. You're killing me. I need you to play Strawther more because we may have to trade Michael Porter Jr. this offseason when Michael Malone has always been a vets-heavy coach. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Not ready yet. And he played MPJ to the point that his shoulder became mashed potatoes. And now they're stuck in this spot. I don't know if they got away with replacing Christian Brown with KCP with Christian Brown, but is Julian Strawther ready to step in and be Michael Porter Jr.? It's what you might have to ask yourself for them to get under the apron with that extension kicking in. Michael Porter Jr., you have to take Zeke Naji too. And you can't aggregate contracts when you're in the aprons. So many restrictions, man. Thoughts on Halliburton buying that Pacers fan Eastern Conference Finals tickets for getting trash thrown on him in New York? So these videos go viral. Like, there's a reason why it was only, 18 seconds long? Because first of all, you don't know what the fans said to get the trash thrown on them. I assume Knicks fans are also zombies and crazy at the time. So why are you wearing a Halliburton jersey? You know he was not just in the middle of that crowd by accident. He wasn't just walking with his kid trying to get to the subway. Sure, something was said. There's more context to it, but the only part we see is them throwing a trash bag at him. And now he turns into this martyr in which, and you know how online Halliburton is. Love the guy to death, but he's extremely online and influenced by like viral videos like that. He sees everything. He comes from the petty wars trenches. So of course he's going to martyr that guy, get him some courtside seats, and turn him into the Pacers equivalent of the Suns in 4 guy or Suns in 5, whatever that was once upon a time. Do I believe Bobby's remark that Brown is going to command 30 million? Yeah. Why wouldn't he? And if he doesn't get it, then they'll wait that extra season, and then they'll have to put him into restricted free agency where he's going to get it in restricted free agency, and then they can lose him for nothing. Who is the NBA Mount Rushmore of guys 2 online? KD, number 1. Halliburton, yeah. Who else is very online? Is Embiid? I don't know if Joel's online as much anymore, but he probably makes Mount Rushmore for all those years that he was Joel Embiid. Let's see, I need a 4th. Draymond? Yeah, it's got to be Draymond. It's got to be Draymond. Bruce Brown all over again. Yes. Yes. Now you see why Calvin Booth and Michael Malone both got grounded by the parents. Because if neither raises their hand and says they're wrong, you're both in trouble. It's the way it works. If you have any siblings, you know this. I don't, but I know this still. Anything else? There's no hockey. There's no sports on tonight. What are we going to do with our lives? I'm going to go play tennis. I was just at the beach today. Got a busy day tomorrow. So the schedule for tomorrow, people, is give and go from 10 to 1 Pacific. Then I get an hour off. Then I'm doing the pregame show with Coach Sam Mitchell, which is always a fun time. He is, man, does he have opinions. Doing the pregame show from 4 to 5:30 with Coach Sam Mitchell. Right before that, I'll be on Bleacher Report from 3 to 3:30 doing Celtics offseason and trades. And then the post-game show for an hour and a half with Sam Mitchell again, maybe? Yeah, figure it out. Finals prediction, OKC versus New York. And then probably OKC in 5 or 6 games. That's what my brain says. My heart says Knicks sweep, Knicks sweep. We could use a police chase tonight. That we could. I'll be around. I don't have to worry about a conflict. I'm not traveling. I will be around for CBC all night. There's a lot of shows like Cops. I understand why people don't like it. It's also produced to make the cops look good. That's why it got canceled during COVID, during George Floyd. But yeah, I mean, it's entertaining. It's easy to consume. There's a whole bunch of spin-offs now, like Live PD Florida, 30-minute show with 3 different segments. All right, friends. Well, chat's getting a little quiet. It means you must be out of thoughts and opinions. But that was a fun little 50 minutes. Nothing beats the absurdity of a good domestic violence call, but if it's in Citrus County, Florida, if it's in like to certain counties and parishes in Louisiana, there's those when you see on Cops like they're in this county, like, oh, it's about to be some crazy ass people there. It's not a major city. It's just in the middle of nowhere. And when you get one of these calls, you're like, these people exist. It's like a majority of the country. You're crazy. Well, you need a Wabette who supports your love of the Knicks and helicopter chases. I don't agree. I'm quite happy with my being single in freedom. Being single in freedom is going to allow me to disappear this summer and have No obligations whatsoever. I'm sure it got canceled for a variety of reasons. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's plenty of reasons. But it was the longest running show on cable television, other after or network television after Seinfeld. All right, friends, I'm going to sign off. I'll be back if there's a police chase. I'll be back tomorrow for all of those programs I just discussed. But if you enjoy this particular show, this one, the Q&A with Wob, we'll be back on Wednesday, same time, 3:15 p.m. Pacific. Until then, see you on the timeline. Deuces.